Welcome to the Yoga of Voice for Chanters here at the Bhakti Breakfast Club. And I'm so glad to join you again to deepen in this beautiful path of Bhakti chanting. Thanks and praise to that which makes it possible. So as I mentioned, this is the Yoga of Voice for Chanters, and specifically Kirtan chanters. Now, we always hear about yoga in this community, and in our world. There's yoga this, yoga that. And a lot of us have heard that yoga essentially means union. It's really from the word yoke. The English word yoke is from the same root as the Sanskrit word yoga. And there's so many different kinds of yoga. There's Bhakti yoga, the yoga of devotion. There's Jnana yoga, yoga of knowledge or realization. There's Karma yoga, the yoga of service. There's Raja yoga, meditation. There's Nada yoga, the yoga of sound. Mantra yoga, yoga of mantra, the sacred words. Japa yoga, when you're repeating these mantras. So many different forms of yoga. Bhakti is one form. And when we say that yoga is union, what's being united? What are we talking about here? Well, you know, the mystics of all the traditions, finally they talk about, at a certain point, the union, that we're not separate from God. Or if you don't like to call it God, you can call it capital L, love. Sometimes I've called it holy rolling molecular motion. But there's something that connects all of us and all of this. And in spite of the fact that this thing that we're chanting to, this one that we chant to, you know, our beloved, in fact, in Kirtan, is closer than our breath. But in spite of this union, don't we all feel separate, at least sometimes? I think most of the time we're in kind of this peekaboo with the universe, where the veil comes over and we think it's just us and we're completely separate. And maybe by some grace, maybe in a moment of love or devotion or bliss, maybe one time in 60 million lifetimes, maybe more often, because I believe it's getting easier, we have a remembrance of who we are behind it all, this union. And who thinks it's separate anyway? It's the mind, isn't it? We could be like the fish swimming in the ocean, as they talk about, saying, I don't know if I believe in the ocean. It's like my Guruji, Papaji, used to talk about. It's like if you hold a quarter up in front of the moon and block out the moon didn't go anywhere. And so all of these pathways are generously helping us to melt the distractions, melt the thoughts that make us feel so separate sometimes. And yet even in this separation, even in the longing, even in that part of us that feels so incredibly separate, there can be so much love. Sometimes I think that's the whole purpose of this peekaboo, like I said with this universe, the whole idea that we're separate, because when we feel the separation, there can be this love, there can be this appreciation, and when the union comes, it's so sweet. So in this series, it's the yoga of voice. But the yoga of voice can include or be also a part of Bhakti yoga, the yoga of devotion, Nada yoga, the yoga of sound. In this lesson, I'm going to share with you ways that I find it easier to open into the breath and the resonance of the voice in this body, to enhance the ease and the pleasure and the ability to really melt in to the Bhakti Yoga path of Kirtan. So I'm very, very excited to share with you some vocal practices that have really helped me to make singing more of a yoga. And whenever I start any practice, I like to offer some kind of invocation, something I do every time. And I really recommend to anyone, if you want to quickly get in the mood of your bhakti chanting, if you want to quickly find a way in, to let there be some kind of invocation, some kind of mantra or offering that you do every time. Because when we approach it every time, especially if we do something the same way every time, it's like we don't have to think about, oh, how am I going to start? Oh, what should I do here? Oh, what was going on at dinner? Your mind gets so trained to just, this is my time with the beloved, or this is my time in my singing sadhana, my singing practice. And this is a mantra to Ganesha. Ganesha, remember, is one aspect of the one divine which is associated with our Muladhara chakra. When we chant to Ganesha, it reminds us of our stability, of our root, of our foundation. And when we connect with that, we feel secure and stable and less afraid, actually. And then it also, Ganesha is that which reminds us that this is a new beginning. This is a new now. Hallelujah. What a great thing to remember. Every breath is a new beginning. Every millimeter of every microtone of every millisecond of everything is a new beginning. Ganesha helps us remember that. And this mantra, regardless if you think of Ganesha as a god or if this just is a helpful mantra, this mantra will help us to remember that too. It's also the granter of boons, it's the remover of obstacles. And even if it wasn't all of that, when you sit down to sing, naturally the breath comes into some kind of order. The breath is regulated and elongated. The body, you can feel your vibration in your body, and we tend to get more present. Must be present to win. So join me if you would on Om Gang Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gang. Gang is the bija sound, the seed sound of Ganesha. Ganapataye. Remember Gana, the tongue is arching back like Ganesha's trunk, touching the roof of your mouth. Gana, Ganapataye. The T is actually touching the teeth. Ta. Ganapataye Namaha. I bow. Just like in the first lesson, we root down. We feel our foundation. We open, we allow the energy to rise up to the roof of the mouth and the crown of the head. And with so much gratitude for this new beginning, for our foundation in this practice that goes by so many names, join me if you will, chanting Om Gang Ganapataye Namaha. And I'll chant it for a while with you. And then I encourage you to just take off, let your voice sail. My voice might also take off and soar like birds. We'll keep a steady pulse and just see how your heart wants to sing at the moment. We'll stay in for a little while. Om Gang Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gang Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gang Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gang Ganapataye Namaha. Ganapataye Namaha. Om 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 Ganapataye Namaha. And sometimes you just might feel like your voice just wants to move around. Anything is welcome. Longing, sadness, joy, whatever you feel is welcome. Sing any way you like. Om Ganapataye Namaha. 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 You can be funky. Om Ganapataye Namaha. Om Ganapataye Namaha. Om Ganapataye Namaha. Om Ganapataye Namaha. 'Cause it's really a new beginning, and your voice is really holy, and you're really so beloved.